communities to ensure that all these events are being registered. And on a monthly basis, this information are transmitted to our district offices. We have 16 district offices and one additional office in the Bond Island. So, and we have a directorate for vital statistics and research, which is responsible to ensure that these data are collated, analyzed, and updated in our civil register.
How do you get to capture those people that live in areas where they don't even have health facility, like a clinic?
Well, we have community structures and work through community health workers. So these are people that help live in their respective communities, and they provide notification on these events. And when this event we are being notified about this event, our registration officials ensure that this event are being registered. But also the act makes it very clear that it is the responsibility of the relatives or families to ensure that this event must be registered with the authority. And being their responsibility, it is their right also to ensure that it's been done. So we ensure that at least timely registration of this event being captured, and it is free of cost, especially within the first 90 days.
And of course, we know that you have collected all of these figures, and these figures have been published. But what is the probability that there might be a lot more people that would have died, or a lot more children that would have been born that were not captured in the year 2021?
It's an ongoing process, and we are making some incremental inroads. For example, if we look at the data for 2020 compared to 2021, we have made an increment in birth registration of about 10%. So moving forward, and that's been our strategy, we're working in close collaboration with other state actors like the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Local Government, and other child-focused organizations to ensure that at least birth registration is a fundamental right of the child, and it also have a lot of child protection ramifications. So as long as parents are being encouraged to ensure that their children are being registered, and also key institutions like the Ministry of Education have now made it very as a requirement for children to be enrolled in schools with the submission or provision of their birth certificate, and also even enrollment in a secondary school and tertiary institution is now a key requirement because it has fundamental benefits. Birth certificate is a period document, and it's the first document that really identifies an individual of being a national of a state. So it is very critical that families, friends, communities should ensure that we all contribute in ensuring that the event is being registered as they will call.
What is the role of traditional heads in communities where relevant authorities are absent in terms of registering or informing your office of marriages, deaths and divorce? What role could traditional heads play, and have they been playing that role effectively?
They are very critical, and they are key state actors in our engagement. Of recent past, we have an engagement with traditional leaders in the western area, and they made a lot of commitment through the Ministry of Local Government, because they are custodians of their communities, and a lot of developmental strive can be made in respective communities if you really register those events and you have comprehensive information about the population distribution and the population data set of your respective communities. For example, if you want to ask the Ministry of Education, or if you think it is prudent to increase school infrastructures in your community, one of the information and evidence-driven tool that you push for that is to ask you what is the population of school-going children in your communities. So if this information are not being captured through the civil register, and made available to you, it will make your advocacy and engagement a bit challenging. Or you want to have more health facilities in your community. You want to know what is the total population of your catchment population. So it is very critical, and they have started understanding the relevance of this information in terms of community growth and development.
It's good now you've spoken of the relevance of this exercise. We also take notice that at the end of the year, every year since I was a child, when we go to the watch night service, in church, there will be announcements of these provisional records that you've just read out to us. Is it the same with the mosques? Because the reason why I'm asking this question is because in some communities you only find mosques, especially in rural communities you only find mosques. So we would like to know, because the other reason I'm asking this question is to know whether the mosques as well take record of marriages between people in those communities, take record of deaths of people in those communities, take record of divorces of people in those communities, and whether these records are then transferred to the chiefdom headquarter towns, so that they can pass them on to you people, so that you get accurate information of what is going on in those rural communities as well.
Well, of course, it's a tradition. We know that end of year service is common among Christian communities, and it is against that backdrop that we ensure that the 31st of December of every year, this data are made available to the churches for their end of year service.
Why not the mosques as well?
Well, of course, we will be having engagement with the interreligious councils, which involve both the Christians and Muslims, and especially for death registration, which is a bit low. We have been encouraging and have a lot of engagement with them to ensure that at least they should encourage their congregation or members to ensure that death are being registered, because it also have a lot of relevance not only to the family or individual but also to the state. For example, if the person died and that person was contributing to the social security scheme, one of the key requirements for the family of the deceased to benefit from that scheme is to present to the NACIT the medical certificate of cause of death, and also that medical certificate of cause of death is the document that will subsequently lead to the provision of issuance of the death certificate. And if you don't have a death certificate, it will be a challenge for the family to benefit from the social security scheme.
Do you also collect information of non-Sierra Leoneans that died while in Sierra Leone?
Yeah, because the Act makes it incumbent on us to register all civil events that occur within the jurisdiction of Sierra Leone for both Sierra Leoneans and non-Sierra Leoneans, as long as you are residing within the confine of the country.
I've never had you publish a report of non-Sierra Leonean citizens.
Well, if you look in the comprehensive vital statistics, at least such information can be disaggregated, but this is a provisional result. So we just want at least immediately after the end of the year, we will share with the public the number of deaths about that occur.
The last time I was at the births and deaths office, I saw stacks, piles of paperwork, most of them dating back to maybe 100 years or so, and it was an ugly sight, and I'm wondering whether you've come up with any advanced way of keeping records or collecting information.
Well, digitalization of our records, at least, has been highly prioritized by the Director General of the National Civil Registration Authority, and we have got the interest of key partners, including the European Union, and with their technical assistance and resources, we are now digitalizing all our past records. So moving forward, if you go back and you want to request for a birth certificate that you have misplaced or worn out, we can extract it from our digital archive system. So it is ongoing.
And I also understand that you are developing a mobile application system. Do you want to tell us about that?
The mobile application system is to help us to speed up real-time registration of births and death, and that is an app that was supported by UNICEF, one of our partners that is really helping also improve the birth and death, the birth registration architecture in the country. So the app has been developed, and we have trained staff on the use of the mobile application. So the whole essence is for us to have it, especially our district registration centers, so that they'll be able to upload registration information for easy transmission to our national server.
What efforts are you making to decentralize your work to ensure that you have a presence in every district, in the country?
Registration of civil events is decentralized. We have 17 district offices, including the Mount Island. So we have staff there, and all vice events that occur nationwide at least have been registered in those respective districts and beyond. That's why for birth and death registration, I told you that we are working in close collaboration with the Ministry of Health, which have over 1,400 health facilities nationwide. So in every health facility, you can register your birth or your death, and within 90 days, it is free of cost.
And of course, I know that there are some challenges along the way that the NCR is encountering with regards to collecting information and all of that. What are some of these challenges that you're experiencing?
Well, the challenge, one of the key challenges we had is that over the years we have been doing, and we are still doing paper-based registration. We want to move from that to electronic-based registration. But the first thing, as I said, we have to digitalize all our past records, and that is what we are doing. And that is one of the key reasons that we had the occurrences and incidents of identity fraud, because in paper-based registration, a lot of information can be easily manipulated. But we are moving from that. That is why of recent past, up to the end of this December last year, there's a nationwide verification of confirmation of personal details of nationals and citizens residing in the country. So when we have all those details in our database, we'll be able to address most of these challenges. We really want to minimize identity fraud, because people usually go and change their date of birth because due to potential opportunities that they may have at hand. But moving forward, that will be addressed, and when we have all details of residents and citizens and non-citizens residing in the country, identity fraud will be minimized, and real-time provision of details of information about citizens and non-citizens will be on real time.
You have some Sierra Leoneans who are living overseas, you know, some permanent, some not non-permanent, and some are students who left this country. If they happen to die overseas, is it entirely necessary to register the deaths in country?
Death registration, by law, we should register a death that occur within the jurisdiction of the country. So if you die outside the country and you want to bring the corpse back home, you notify the Ministry of Health and also the Ministry, the National Civil Registration Authority, so that such information can be registered into our system. But by law, where the event occurs, where it has to be registered and certified, but we can take note of it to be included in our system. But we cannot record it as an event that occurs within the jurisdiction of the country.
All right, okay. Continue to stay with us. He's Victor Brahima Victor Kamara. This is from the National Civil Registration Authority Director Batson Debts. Moving on with the program, St. Edward's Secondary School. It's a public Catholic secondary school in Freetown, and since its inception has remained one of the country's most prestigious schools. While St. Edward's was designed to be an all-male school, female students were permitted to enroll as A-level students. As the school is set to celebrate its centenary anniversary, a host of activities have been lined up to celebrate this milestone. In the studio is Ishmael, Sheikh, president of the Old Edwardians Association. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Thanks, viewers, and thank you for having me.
All right. Congratulations, first of all, on the centenary anniversary celebrations. And I believe you have a lot of things that you're going to be doing to celebrate, to mark this milestone. Can you tell us a bit about your plans?
Okay. Thank you. And you know, the school was started in 1922. But I just want to piggyback. For us to be 100 years, you might wonder why some of the schools like grammar school and Walsh and convents are gone far ahead. We know from an article written by one father that the primary school was started in 1865, but it was mostly a Catholic missionary institute, and so they were housed at Santa House. So the missionaries there thought it fit to, educate those in the primary school. But the secondary school was somehow a bit sketchy. But we know that some of those ones who graduated from that standard 4 going to standard 5, those who had the ability and means, we are given opportunity to study in-house at the Mission House at Santana House at House Street for 5 years to take the Cambridge examination. And those who were successful were sent abroad to Europe, Oxford, Cambridge, Durham, and you name it. So it was taught by Father Mordecai at that time to few missionaries to start the secondary school, and in 1921, of course, Maypap was also so 7 of those sets, including Albert Magai, were the first entrant of those that institution. So we've come a long way, honestly, to celebrate. But this year, 2022, we're going to dub it the Edwardian year, because we have a lot of things planned. But we want to start off in January, especially January 8th, the Flame of St. Edward's. It's a torch we're going to use. We'll start off at House Street, Santana House, where the school was banned. And so we'll take the blessing of His Grace, the Archbishop, to bless the torch, and we'll process at the streets from House Street to Mayback. We'll have few stations where batons for church will be handed over to a few of our dignitaries. So, of course, we have a few dignitaries who have touched the lives of many and what.
And of course, we know you have a lot of dignitaries, and if you could just remind of who those people are, so people know exactly who are those influential Old Edwardians.
Of course, we'll start from the Prime Minister, Sir Albert Magai, and also Ahmad Tijan Kaba, who was one time the president of Sierra Leone. And if we start at the legislature, the Honorable Abbas Bundu, Speaker of Parliament, is an Edwardian. Honorable Chairman Majuba is also an Edwardian. Bashiru Siliki is an Edwardian. So we have a host of parliamentary members who are Edwardian. If we come to the executive again, the Minister of Economic Development, Kakai, is an Edwardian. We have the NACOVAC spokesman and Deputy Minister, Jamiru. If we come to the judiciary again, of course, the Justice Nicholas Brahma is an Edwardian. We have members from the bench, Commander Michael Mami, you name them, So we have a host lot of people there from all branches, and so we are also touching on people from different walks of life. For example, people not in the academia but who have exhibited their talent, because Edwards was known for their talent. For example,
especially in football.
Mohamed Kalon played up to Inter Milan, and I remember in England when he went to play for Ipswich. The newspapers all over England around the 1990s, all the newspapers were talking about Mohamed Kalon. So he was an icon and our hero. So we also look at few people like Kweku Jan. He was an athlete in the 1980s. He dropped a record when the National Stadium was open. His time was 11 dead at that time. So we have few people who have touched the lives of many. We have business people, entrepreneurs, for example, Tunde Cole, Ali Mubari, Babi Ford, Issa Bari. These are all business and entrepreneurs who had touched our lives. But we want to also go into the female side, because like you said, you know, in the 1950s, Father O'Sullivan decided to create a co-educational institution admitting from six form students. So people like Christian had the benefits of St. Edwards, and also Umar Watiganjalo, our former Chief Justice, also entered St. Edwards. We have Madam Edna Jones, Haja Kalakamara, who also was the Commissioner General for the NRA. We have a host of many of those ones. So we are in fact calling on all those female, because it will never be anymore because it has changed now to a boys' school instead of a co-educational school. So we are calling on all the female who have touched the nook and crannies of society to come on board for this Touch of Flame on Saturday.
When I was attending the grammar school, grammar school is a science school, and Edwards was known as an arts school. It used to be, if you want to become a lawyer, go to St. Edwards, secondary school, and they used to produce very, very sound, students, people, who make it to Friday College to go and study law and that. But is it the same with St. Edwards? St. Edwards back then producing top-notch lawyers and that?
Yes, well, you see, like you said, we had a science stream which was, I remember during the early 70s, we have some Indians like Silvamuti who touched the lives of many students in physics and chemistry. For example, Tunde Cole is an Edwardian, and he left for sixth form to grammar school. So there were a host of others who went to grammar school from, even the president emeritus, Jibisako, he's an Edwardian, he went to grammar school. So the science is more or less, the grammar school captured most of the science students, but we are more looking at arts and commercial stream. So that's why we have a batch of lawyers. For example, if you look at the lawyers in the country, we have almost 70% of them. In fact, the current president of the bar, Edina Swallow, is an Edwardian. From 2008 to 2022, we have a barrage of Edwardians who have been president, from Elvis Kagbo to Ibrahim Suri. I could call only Basita Michael, who was just split that particular one, Rhoda Noni, and quite a few of those ones. So these are all Edwardians. So the law faculty took a lot of Edwardians from school.
In recent times also, we've seen that the alumni, have stepped up to take things into their hands, the affairs of the school into your hands, just like other schools who've been doing that, like the grammar school and that. What efforts have you made thus far to improve things at the school?
Well, I remember along the line between the 2000, when the rebel war came, that school became a kind of called a rebel school. So we had few changes, and under the Sako-led administration, I remember around 2008, 2010, there was a lot of transformation. We decided to look at the whole structure itself. In fact, we charged the two principals. I remember the late Wilman Johnson, who was in the GSS. We spoke to them. We said, listen, let us stop this bleeding of having these people who know within 8 years they would have gone out of the institution. So let's start to have a fresh breed of young Edwardians who can eschew all our values too. So Wilmot Biden, Wilmot Johnson Cole was very, very effective in that. We must commend him for transforming St. Edwards, because in fact he cut down the school from about 70, 80, he cut it down up to 50 in a classroom. So that one started the transformation itself. And quality also improved. We look at infrastructural side of things. In fact, in 2014, we were able to build a 14 classroom, and we were the first to change to the Bamanja, address the Bamanja report. We had a single shift in 2014, you can imagine. So now we have a single shift. We have, in fact, around this time now, we are doing a massive renovation. We're trying to do the whole building. We've almost completed the whole building. We're doing the whole toilet at the back, and in fact, we're getting like a borehole to serve the whole building, because we have a borehole for the new building. So there's a lot of infrastructural development going on, and of course, in the area of football, also, the Edwardians Football Club is also the only surviving Premier League club in the country. Unfortunately, the Regentonians went aside, so they haven't come.
We're back.
Edwards is surviving as the only Premier League survived since 1922. So we are taking strides. In fact, even in the standard of the school, we are maintaining standards. We're trying to improve the quality of education of the people. Thanks to the free quality education, we're able to have an hands-on approach. We work with the principals, supporting them, complimenting them in a few other areas. For example, in December, the diasporans sent food items, sacks of rice, and cash bonus. Some had 400,000, 300,000 for the December. So I think we are taking strides to not only help the teachers, but to translate it into, because when teachers are motivated, they will translate it into the student. So I think that kind of synergy helps us to improve the school.
In fact, that's what I was going to ask you about the alumni associations in the diaspora. I know you have one in the UK. I don't know if you have others in the United States and in Ireland and places like that. And what has been their contribution thus far to develop the school?
Last year when I took over, I'm also doubled as the chairman of the Centenary Committee and president of the Edwardian Association. So I reach out to the diaspora. They have been supportive and helping the UK and Ireland. We have the Atlanta chapter, the DMV, Washington DC and Metropolitan. We have the Atlanta, Georgia chapter. We have the Texas chapter. They are all very big. In fact, recently the Texas chapter organized an event where we saw Emerson had a show at Texas. He's also an Edwardian, so to speak.
So we have forgot to mention.
We have a lot of talent. For the artists, honestly, you can never beat Edwardians.
Yeah.
So you name Emerson, you name Caldenero, you name Famous, you name Ackman, you name Dallas B, you name Tony T. They are all Edwardians. On the 18th, we will be having a concert at St. Edwards, because we want to go back to Mecca. On the 18th, put that in your calendar. We have all this barrage of talent, and in fact comedians, Desmond Benya, Ogawowo, faculty. It's a talent show, massive talent
for all these people.
So we have the for talent and artists, it's second to none, honestly. We are in abundance of those ones. But the diasporans also are helping us. So we formed the Centenary Committee, where decision making was done. We will always have a Zoom meeting to just collaborate our effort, ideas, and this has culminated in all this calendar of events. If I should run down through, January 8th, we'll be having this Flame of 100, and also on the 22nd, we'll have a sponsored walk, and on the 30th, we'll have a mass for all our fallen heroes. So we've invited the Ahmed Tijan Kaba Foundation, the Mosire Falika Foundation is also an Edwardian. Sadly, he passed away. So we invited all those ones to come and have a mass to remember all those ones who have played central role in our lives, in our society, and even extreme values for us to emulate. So with all those ones, we want to see how best we can, talk to them, their generations, inviting them to come and celebrate Mass with us on the 30th.
All right, well, many thanks for coming in to talk to us and telling us all about the old Edwardians who are celebrating their centenary anniversary with a flame of 100 and on the 8th, Saturday the 8th.
We are calling all Edwardians to be at House Street and we process to make back.
All right, well, thank you very much. He's Ishmael Sheikh, President, Old Edwardians Association. We're going to take a short break now.
As a mother of the house, whenever I want to prepare palm soup, there's no need pounding palm fruit. All I need is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. My soup is done and its preparation, it is not difficult at all. Nkulenu palm soup base, it's easily done with no difficulties. Just take few ladles and your soup is done. And its flavor, it's amazing. This is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base, and this is Nkulenu's Ghana's original spiced palm soup base. Iron fruit and turkey berries are naturally added.
Also available brown gold natural cocoa powder, sunny gold brown sugar, meat fufu flour, shito, pisa, and moringa. All available at Nyami Ado Enterprise, 1 Lower Waterloo Street, Freetown.
Nkulenu palm soup base,
Ghanaian original taste.
Alright, welcome back. It's Good Morning Sierra Leone on the SLBC. Now, Leone Stars players and technical team have bid in farewell to President Julius Maada Bio at State House and they're leaving for AFCON 2021 in Douala, Cameroon. During the farewell, President Bio called on the players to go to Cameroon with one objective, which is to bring back that trophy as they're coming from the Lion Mountains. Well, 40 players were in the pool for the AFCON game, but only 28 were selected and are set to leave the shores of Sierra Leone on Thursday for Cameroon. Let's join Harmosy, who was at State House when the players visited.
This is the time Sierra Leoneans have been yearning for 25 years. In few days, our Leone Stars will leave the shores of Sierra Leone for the AFCON tournament in Cameroon. President Julius Maada Bio, in his courageous words, told the players to go out and represent Sierra Leone and make the country proud. He urged them to go out into the field in Cameroon with only one objective, that is to bring the trophy home. As representative of the Lion Mountain, he encouraged them to surprise their fellow countrymen as the country has been in a wilderness for 25 years.
I've been in the wilderness for 5 years. Let our presence be felt when we get there. And that's what I ask of you. And I know you have it. Don't be shy. Don't be scared. Go into that field and make Sweden proud of you. We are a small country. My aim is to make us a big country. A small but beautiful country. One that we can all be proud of. And we can only be proud of ourselves with successes in all walks of life. But as you know, football is really a religion. You have to bring us that trophy. And of course, when you come down the plane, you will not touch the ground. You know that. When you bring us that, you will never touch the ground until you want to come down. You have to beg to come down on earth. Because Sierra Leone is there.
President Julius Maada Bio disclosed that Sierra Leone is a small country, but his aim was to make it big and beautiful one, as football in Sierra Leone was a religion. He called on the players not to be shy or scared. The president told the players that the happiness of 8 million people depended on them and that they should rise up to the occasion and compete to surprise the world. President Judith Madabe commended the entire Leone Stars for their hard work and commitment in reaching thus far.
Gentlemen, this was just to say goodbye. I could not have missed this occasion, whether it was going to mean me going to the airport to take 5 minutes of your time and just say, you are going into battle for us, you are representing all of us, our hopes are on you, our happiness is going to depend on you, and your future is in this. I want to see as many Sierra-Leoneans out there, we have it, we want to nurture it, and this is our own way. So if you see me supporting, and that we have it's hard. You see, we call the Minister of Finances because he is, like I told you, an old footballer, and he's very supportive. Not that he's there, but we just want to give you whatever is needed to make you proud, make you succeed, and make us go through this without all the hassles.
Minister of Sport Ibrahim Yelenke noted that football in Sierra Leone has become an industry. He said 16 players have secured international contracts since he took up office. He expressed thanks and appreciation to the President and the First Lady for putting Sierra Leone on the map in terms of football. Mr. Yelenke also presented Leone Stars jerseys to the President.
Captain, this is going to represent the Christmas and blue flag in Cameroon. So, Mr. Captain, your presence is.
Well, Leone Stars are visiting the President who has given them his blessings to go to Cameroon and bring back the trophy, which is the one main objective for which they're going there. Remember, we're not just going there to take part in the competition, but we're going there to compete, just like any of the other nations that will be there. In the studio with me is Sheikh, head of Media, National Sports Authority. Hey, it's about time. The players are about to leave for Cameroon. I believe so are you. And I understand that we're going with a chartered flight. What's the new development around their departure?
Thank you very much. Good morning, Sierra Leoneans. Good morning, viewers. A lot has happened for the last 72 hours, but again, most specifically the last 24 hours. Let me start by informing Sierra Leoneans that yesterday there was a competitive training section. Those who are privileged or opportunity to witness that training will not be able to have confidence in their team, because it was like a semi-friendly match. You know, the training was in the night, the floodlight was on, you know, goals were coming like manners from heaven, you know, tackles were made, saves were made, dribbles were made. I think those who witnessed the training, they are really much gratified, and they will be able to send the message home. So that will be the final day for training. The team will depart tomorrow. It's a 50-man contingent, first delegation, 28 players, 17 officials, and very few officials. We join a 50-man delegation with a chartered flight from here to Douala, straight Cameroon. But again, you would like to know what are the things that have happened, the packages the players have received, especially after their farewell, you know, party to the President, State House, government, and people of this country. I'm so pleased to inform all that after the address, President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, on behalf of his government and the people of Sierra Leone, was able to give what we call presidential departure package to each of the players, and a total of that, I'll just give a total, I'll not give a breakdown, a total of $84,000 for the 28 players. Presidential departure package to the technical staff, 17 of them, $36,000. Backlog to players for Morocco friendly match. Remember, we went to Morocco to play 3 international friendly matches. Again, to give allowances for friendly matches is not best practice. That was not budgeted for. But when we went to Morocco, the players realized that other countries, as we are in Morocco at the material time, 11 nations assembled there, that they were given allowances, even though it was friendly. So they demanded. And as a ministry, very responsible, and we have to adhere to the demands of the West, and undertaking was made for $3,000 each of the players, the 28. That money have also been approved. So for that backlog, it's $81,000. It is also important to note that looking at the magnitude and how serious we are going to Cameroon, we'll be able to review the appearance fee or the winning bonuses for these players. Before now, it was $2,000 for appearance fees, but looking at the current development, that will be able to increase from $2,000 to $3,000. Again, maybe I need to put this money, I need to quantify it to Leone Valley so that Sierra Leoneans will know. So for example, once you make it up to the 28-man squad, whether you play, you do not play, you worth 30 million, which is $3,000. And when you draw a match, it's $1,500, that's like 15 million. When you win a match, it's $4,500, which is like 45 million. And beyond that, so you begin to see that no, we are very serious with this business. We've just changed the narrative of what used to happen. And on the 20th of this month, remember when the team returned from the qualification in Guinea, we had the presidential dinner at the Bintumani. No less a person that the dinner was organized by our first lady, Madam Fatima Jabibio. And in that dinner, the president announced that from that time to December, as part of preparation for the team, training allowances will be given to these players and the technical staff. So a total sum of 852 million have been given out for that purpose on the 20th of December. And also we are supposed to have international camping, but based on the advice that came from the technical people, they said no, we need to camp home. So the camp is taking place here, but all the financial expenditure, the allowances that due the player, the technical people, and all logistics for that campaign have also been dished out to them. So you realize that a huge package have been given, and even those players that we have dropped who could not make it up, they did not just go like that. They were able to take home at least $1,000. So you realize that, I mean, as a people, as a nation, we've invested so much into this team, and we are going to Cameroon with just one mind, like the president said, with one vision: go there and bring back the trophy home. He said we have been on mission, and all of this mission are just an unfinished project. We are now going to Cameroon to finish this project. Going beyond that, you will also interested to know that Bull Rangers Football Fan Club, I want to say on behalf of the Ministry of Sport, the National Sport Authority, by extension SLFA, to say thank you to them. A sum of 100 million was given by Bull Rangers Football Fan Club to the team as part of their own motivation, and an individual who does not want to be named has also provided a support for at least 32 Sierra Leoneans to go and witness the match to come back at his own personal expense. On the front of the government or the Ministry of Sports, the people of this country, initially our budget capture for 20 supporters, purely the Sierra Leone National Union supporters, those that will be taking the band drums, so that place they will be making the biggest noise for us. Yeah, you know that they have to be there, the 12 man on the stand. But again, discussions have been taking place that there was a need for us to increase on the support base. So a special request was made, because initially it wasn't part of the package. So a special request was made. I was informed yesterday at the stadium by the Minister of Sports that government has graciously approved about 80 supporters in addition to the 20 initial, making a total of 100 supporters. So you realize that with all of these developments, we are going to Cameroon with nothing else but to go there and create surprises for people. That same Sierra Leone is the underdog in the group of F, where we are having a two-time defending champion who have now gone 34 matches unbeaten. We are going there to change that narrative. We met with Nigeria 5. They have 2 wins. We have 1, 2 draws. So we are going there to change the narrative that, you know what, we are coming from the Lion Mountain, small West Africa. I used to tell people, we went to Nigeria. Nigeria is about 160 million by their last census population. Sierra Leone is 7 million plus or minus 7 to 8 million. At the end of the day, Nigeria presented 11 players on the pitch. We presented 11 players at the pitch at the particular time, and their population did not outweigh our own, about 7 million population. So we are never scared about names. We are never scared. All we know is our past glories. We are going there to play football. Our boys are very much determined. They are very, very much confident. Yeah. Remember, the first lady quoting her directly that out of 7 million Sierra Leoneans, 28 of you have been selected. It is just a mere blessing for you. and you are also going there not only to play for Sierra Leone but to play for your own career, because football is a industry these days. People are making huge amounts of money out of football. So going there to showcase your talent at the biggest platform on the continent, where you will be having scouts all over the world, is an opportunity for you to be scouted by the Manchester United, to be scouted by the Chelsea, to be scouted by the Barcelona, by the Real Madrid, by the Bayern Munich. So you are going there with two objectives. One, to put the green, white and blue on the map, to represent that green, white and blue over and above, or to showcase what you can offer as an individual to market yourself to the global world.
All right, we thank you very much. We have Abdul Kabir in the house. Abdul, over to you.
Well, thank you, and of course, for in terms of motivation, they motivated to play, and I'm sure I want to commend the government, applaud them for such a very good move. Moves are taken by the government to motivate the players. Such motivation is extremely important. Go to the AFCON, and I just want the players to know that even the Algerians, they are keeping an eye on Sierra. When the live streaming was going on yesterday, we are monitoring the situation in Sierra Leone. They are afraid of Sierra Leone. They are not looking at the team as an underdog. They are looking at Sierra Leone as a serious contender. So let's bear this in mind as a result of the match we played against Nigeria and also the match we played against Benin. So they are not taking Sierra Leone as a pushover. They are seeing Sierra Leone as a strong contenders, and we must keep that in mind because we want to ensure that we have something good. Again, one of the former Leone Stars captain, Abubakar Kamara, said at some point when we interviewed him, he said, look, if you are going to play against a player who has made his name is marking football, don't be afraid of the player. Just ensure that you prepare yourself well, then at the end of the day, you'll be able to take that player head on. So for me, we've seen motivation here and there. I'm sure the players are in high spirits and high gears to ensure that they do the needful. But again, we must ensure that we work collectively for the good of all. Whatever differences we have now, let's put that behind us and focus on the AFCON, because at the end of the day, Sierra Leone want to compete, and that's it. That's where we are going for, and we must ensure that we compete fully to have the better result at the end of the day. We've seen players demonstrating their commitment towards that, and the entire team, they visibly demonstrated that commitment to ensure that they go to the AFCON and grace the competition and successfully. And we've seen the unwavering support from Sierra Leoneans out there expressing love, wishing the team well. It all shows the unity. Football brings everything together. That's unifying factor. We must not forget that, because at the end of the day, that's what will help Sierra Leone to achieve the desired goal and the objective. Like the president did say, we must go there with one objective to ensure that we behave like lions. I'm sure guys are ready to behave just like lions. Yes.
Well, during his heydays, Tostao, was one defender who did not allow any attacker to make a name for him. It's either the ball will go away or the player and the ball, both of them will go out of the field. So we hope that Leone Stars, will go there and they will do, exactly what the president has told them to do, and I think should work out well for them and for us as a country. Well, but that's it for Good Morning Sierra Leone for today. The program returns tomorrow. We'll be updating you continuously about our darling Leone Stars, even as they leave on Thursday for Douala on a chartered flight, of which Francis Bannard, my producer, will be part of that as well. Until next time, ciao, bye bye.